Hey there, kids. I recently had the unique opportunity to sit down in candid conversations with up and coming, nationally recognized drummer Melanie Jo Dilorenzo, who hails out of Los Angeles, California. Our first discussion took place last week, and this is the recording that we did of part two. The first discussion was pretty candid and random, and we delved a little bit deeper in part two. So let's go ahead and get right to it. Melanie Jo Dilorenzo, professional drummer from Los Angeles, California. This is part two. You can find the Contrast Project Lounge on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. And on our YouTube channel, like, share, comment, and smash that subscribe button so you get all the notifications and all of the new episodes, which are just going crazy. We are doing episodes practically every other night, and they will be posted as they are available. Now, Melanie Jo, amazing person, gifted drummer. She has, at a very young age, managed to really skyrocket into the world of drumming. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about her academics. She had graduated from the University of North Florida with a degree in applied drumming in jazz. And we talk about that and how she transitioned and migrated to Los Angeles, California, and transitioned to playing more of the style of music that she loves and is more accustomed to, and that would be rock and roll. So let's go ahead with it right now. We are back for part two of our discussion here with Melanie Jo Dilorenzo from Los Angeles, California. Melanie, how are you?
I am great. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. Doing fantastic. Like I was
That
saying
is
earlier,
awesome.
yeah, like I was saying earlier, I was holed up here in the damn studio all day recording episodes for the show, and gonna be editing for the next 2 or 3 days, I suppose. I guess something like that. I'm gonna try to get this one edited and up as quick as I possibly can, and get working on our series that we were talking about that will
Nice. Yep.
spotlight all female drummers, both past and present, whether it be notable drummers, famous drummers, up and coming drummers. We have you as episode one so far. Actually, you yeah, actually you inspired me to do it when I started looking into it and looking,
Oh,
at
thank
the
you.
at the
Well, I'm
history
glad.
of drummers and all that. And I just started looking at it, and just
hmm
hundreds of names popped up. So
hmm
in the we're in the interim. Basically, we're going to be waiting on Shelton to show up. So we got the show going
hmm
right now. So in the previous segment that we did with you, part one, last week, uh,
hmm
you were asked about influences. One of your influences
hmm
in drumming, and you mentioned John Bonham as your first choice right off.
hmm
And what got me to
Yep.
thinking was, what uh, is there a female drummer that has had influence on you and your drumming?
It's interesting enough. I haven't really because usually the drummers that I like, I go by like the bands that I listen to. So like
Right.
Led Zeppelin. And it's kind of unfortunate that a lot of rock music has become, I want to say, I shouldn't, a boys club. I've
Yeah.
experienced this horror very actually very recent. Now most, I will say 99% of the bands that I've played in are mostly with men, and they have been awesome. 100% awesome. I've only had one band that I've ever experienced a boys club type situation. So it's unfortunate that a lot of females don't get to see, especially ones that are playing drums, don't get to see a female drummer because it's a male dominated world for the most part. I mean, there's a lot of really good hired guns, but like
Yeah.
that are like in a band situation. You have Meg White with the White Stripes.
Hmm.
So when I was like little, that's, I saw her, and a lot of people will kind of, I guess, rag on her because like she's not a chop heavy drummer, but what she did with the White Stripes, it was great. She fit really well, and how I what I was reading is Jack kind of taught her how to play and stuff, and they gave him that kind of interesting sound.
Hmm. Hmm.
So so at least being a kid and seeing that, and I was just like, oh, that's cool. And then also like Sheila E's great. I think Sheila E's an amazing drummer. She's great.
Oh,
Her with
absolutely.
Prince, and then yeah, and then her solo stuff is really good. She can sing. She's an amazing percussionist. A great drummer. So Sheila E for sure. There's a So Beyonce's drummers, Nikki Glaspie, is really a really good drummer. Um, and then I'm trying to think who Sarah, and then there's this girl called Sarah Tower. She's probably one of the best females I've seen play. She's really good. But as far as growing up and being an influence as like drumming wise, it's kind of hard to give a name because
Hmm.
so
So
many of my
many.
influence went
Right.
by the bands that I liked. So like Incubus, Soundgarden,
Hmm.
Zeppelin, and all of the drummers just happened to be male.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
in a male dominated yeah, even yeah, and like
It's a man's
I
world.
listen to like more so stuff. I know. I listen to more stuff like from like the 70s and stuff, and there was like no female musicians at all, and you might get like a female singer at like Heart, so they had Nancy Wilson and Ann Wilson, but then the musicians were all men. So it was yeah, so the stuff that I like listening to, it's kind of it's all
Well,
pretty much male dominated.
yeah,
Um yeah,
I can
but
dig that. I know, a lot of the bands I listened to
yeah,
growing up, there wasn't a single female drummer. Um, Again,
yeah.
I wasn't really a big Carpenters fan, but she was basically at the
Hmm.
time about the only one I knew of. Now I knew of some other
Hmm.
percussionist. Now I knew of Sheila E., and I knew of
Hmm. Sheila E.
some others that were more percussionist than drummer, um,
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
Bobby Hall. She's played with darn near
Hmm.
everybody. Cindy Blackman with Lenny
Oh yeah,
Kravitz. Oh my
Cindy
goodness.
Blackman's. I saw her with Lenny Kravitz maybe a couple years ago.
Oh
She
yeah.
yeah, she has that Tony Williams style like down. She's a great drummer.
Hmm. Hmm.
She was one of those ones also when I was like a kid, like because I would see like the music videos of like Lenny Kravitz. I was like, oh, that's cool. Yeah. So she was definitely she's a good drummer for
Oh
sure,
yeah. Oh
Cindy
yeah.
Blackman.
Yeah. I've always been a Lenny
Yeah.
Kravitz fan too. It,
Yep.
what's not to like? I mean, really,
Oh yeah, no, I've
the guy is
yeah,
just pretty darn
Lenny
cool.
Kravitz is great.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I,
great guitar player, great songs.
oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, we were talking earlier too,
Yeah.
when you had mentioned, John Bonham, and I brought up Karen Carpenter,
Hmm.
and I had mentioned that I had seen somewhere online. I'll find the link and throw it in the descriptions here, but I had read where Karen Carpenter and John Bonham were both in some sort of drum off drum competition with other drummers. And
Yeah.
Karen Carpenter happened to win the competition, beating out John Bonham, which to me was a surprise. But there again, like you were
I
saying,
would
I would love
yeah.
to see it.
Yeah. She can Yeah, no, I want to go like dig on YouTube to see if I can find that because Karen, she's a legit player. The Buddy Rich chops things going, jazz. I know she studied jazz and like marching band, so she's a
Yep,
great drummer. I think
yep,
she didn't get the credit she really deserved for the drumming part.
right,
She's very
right.
underrated.
she got kind of stuck in
Yeah.
that pop thing with her brother, and I
Yep.
guess the
Mm-hmm. Yep.
record companies just grabbed a hold of her and just kept her in that little that narrow you
Yep.
know mindset. So that is unfortunate that
Thing.
she
There,
left us so soon.
there's a video of her playing dancing in the streets, and then she has a little drum solo on it. That's really cool to check out.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look at that.
And that kind of shows her chops and stuff. So yeah, and she's one of the few like drummers I think really can like play well and pull off singing and playing at the same time, because
Right.
a lot of times it just like usually the drumming is very stiff and kind of choppy, or like it's just you lose one or the other, or the voice is just like some people can pull it off decent, but it's really tricky. But Karen is probably one of the few that pulls it off legit.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a
Hmm.
hard thing to do. It takes a lot of practice. I know it took me years to get it right.
No,
And
well,
sometimes
yeah.
sometimes you'll get off. If you start doing more complex, you know, uh,
Hmm. Hmm.
riffs. If you start doing something a little bit more complex,
Hmm. Yeah.
it also makes it a
Hmm.
little harder to sing at the same time. But when I got the mindset
Yeah.
early on, I figured, hey, if that damn guitar player can do it, I can do it. So, you know,
Yeah. What makes it hard is drumming is like a workout. So like,
yeah.
it takes a lot of like breath, breath, especially now it all depends what like kind of drumming you're doing. If you're just doing something kind of more on the simple side, then it's actually, it's pretty easy to play and sing. But if you have like complicated like stuff, it's usually because you have to like focus on your breath, because I've sing and play drums at the same time. It's not hard. It's just making sure you don't get out of breath.
Right, 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 right.
If that makes sense. So like if you're like doing a fill and singing, it's like you don't want to sound breathy when you're singing. Because drumming is it's like it is very much a workout. It is.
Oh, absolutely,
Um and
absolutely.
I would in some bands I would play. I would have a song or two I'd sing. I'd like I had some Alice in Chains songs, some like Pearl Jam songs, because I it just fits my voice a little better. But yeah, so yeah, it's definitely making sure to sound like not too breathy or out of breath.
Right, right.
um
Well,
but if
listen.
you're real
Yeah,
if you're really yeah, for
go
sure.
ahead.
But I think the more skilled of a drummer you are, the easier it is to like, but then I hear some drummers like sing and play, and I'm just like, gosh, the drums are just not in the pocket, and it's very like choppy sounding.
I was just gonna say, staying in the pocket. read,
Yeah, yeah, I know.
read
I
my mind.
like I've heard. I was sent a video of something from a Jacksonville person, and we were just like ragging on something. And like, yeah, it's just not. He's just not locking in the pocket. But I was just that reminded me of the conversation that we're having, so I was just laughing at that. But yeah, a lot of times it's yeah. But oh, Phil Collins,
Oh yeah,
I like Phil
Phil.
Collins. Yeah, he's great. Phil Collins. And yeah, so there's some that can pull it off, but
Yeah.
um yeah.
I got one more question
It's
for you,
definitely a
Melanie.
workout.
I got one more question for you
Yeah, for sure.
as we wind down into the last few minutes here. Uh, Shelton didn't show up, so we're
Yeah.
just going to go with what we've got. So I have yeah, yeah. So you were uh, trained trained musician in college,
Yep.
and we had talked
Yep.
about the different grips that are used in playing, and
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
for the most part, learning jazz drumming in an academic setting, they would encourage, for the most
Hmm.
part, they would encourage the traditional grip. Uh,
Hmm.
Whereas I have noticed that in your playing, and in mine too, playing rock and roll music or blues, or any hard hitting music other than jazz, the match
Hmm.
script tends to work for us, a lot better. Now, I know that there are some
Yep.
drummers that we had
Yep.
talked about that are able to, flip flop between the two. But
Hmm.
your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so like Stuart Copeland's one of the drummers that, plays like he gets a good rim shot sound out of playing traditional grip, but for the most part, like for rock music, or match grip is the way to go. Because even when I was learning jazz, I still played match grip because I didn't want to ruin the heaviness that I had. And getting a good sound, a good like rim shot sound out of the snare. So I continue to stay in match grip. I did do a little traditional grip when I was in marching band. But then I would have to switch when I went to jazz band in high school. So I really preferred basically playing mostly match grip. But if you're doing like jazz and you're strictly jazz, I would definitely say do traditional. So it's kind of more of a personal preference, but
Mm-hmm,
my
mm-hmm.
personal preference is matched. Yeah, for
I
sure.
have, I, I have tried and tried and tried traditional grip, and I still, from time to time, play. Yeah,
Hmm. Hmm.
I've got a little rubber pad that sits on top of my cajon,
Yep.
and I love my cajon. I
Oh,
love it.
nice.
I love it. I love it. There's some great videos.
Yep.
There's some great videos out there.
Oh,
But
nice.
I've got a little rubber
Very
pad
cool.
that came with mine. It's a Meinl. It's really nice, and I'll get the
Hmm.
sticks out every now and again and try to mess around with the traditional grip on the rubber pad, and it kind of works out. But then if I sit behind a kit,
Hmm.
I automatically switch back to
Hmm.
match grip automatically. It's just
Yeah. Yeah, and like I noticed when I was in, because I did start, because they did make me switch to traditional grip for like a little bit, and I was just like, look, I can't like, because I'm a very hand wise, I'm very quick. So when I was playing traditional, I'm like yeah, I got to go back to match grip. Yeah, this is not this is not, yeah, no. So yeah, once I switched back, like I'm like, yeah, this is much better. I like this better.
right, right, right.
I'm like, yeah, I might be on the louder side, but yeah, I like playing rock music anyway, so it didn't matter.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
I
yeah,
know when I
yeah.
was
So for sure,
working,
I would, and
yeah, I was gonna say I know when I was working,
yeah.
I was with a steady band for the most part, for on and off for about I don't know 15, 20 years, the same group of guys, and we would all
Hmm.
kind of like do hired gun stuff. Somebody would get a gig somewhere else, and then
Hmm.
somebody would, and I'd go out of town, and that's the kind of thing we had going. And
Hmm.
it was always the match grip for me. And it was even when I played, believe it, I played in a couple of country gigs too, and did some concerts, and
Oh,
still
nice.
same thing.
Hmm. Hmm.
Well,
Nice.
there's some hard hitting
Yeah.
country drummers as well. They're out there. I mean, it's not all crying
Yeah.
your
No,
beer.
actually,
It's not all
actually,
crying your beer stuff anymore.
Rich Richmond's a great drummer. He plays for Jason Aldean.
Hmm.
He's really cool guy too. But yeah, no, he's a fantastic drummer. I'm trying to think who else I know in the countryside. Um, oh, the drummer for oh gosh, I get so many brain blanks.
Join the club.
I'll think of his watch. I'll think of his name like after the interview ends and be like, oh, dang it, I knew his name. But no, there's a lot of really good country drummers.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I tell you what, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. And I sure appreciate you coming to join
Awesome.
us once again. Part two is going to be up probably by the end of the week. I'll have it ready for you. And
Nice.
yeah, make sure you tell everybody. And it's been a blast talking with you. And I think I've made a new friend.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, for sure.
We will stay in touch with you, Melanie. Have a great evening.
Yeah. You too.
Talk to you soon.
Bye now. Yep.
That was an amazing interview that we had. that I did with Melanie Jo Dilorenzo. Now, in my closing thoughts, you'll notice that I was off camera. Well, operator error. But it went off without a hitch. We had a great interview, and it just solidified my belief that it doesn't matter your gender when it comes to playing the drums. If it's right in here, you can play the drums, and you could be successful at it. So we are going to, like I said in the discussion that we had, I'm going to go forward with a nice little series that will delve into some of the past and present female drummers that have made their mark and significant contributions to the music industry. And there are many, hundreds, goes back decades. And as we said, about the time when Karen Carpenter was, coming, of age and becoming very popular in the pop world, of course, at that time, it was indeed more so a man's world when it came to all of the musicians, not just the drummers, but, practically every band that you saw on American Bandstand or Soul Train, it was all men, all men. And then you started seeing more and more women coming out and playing, while at the time, many of those women were actually doing studio work. And so they didn't really get the notoriety, in the press or anything like that. But I can tell you that I have, in my research so far, noted, hundreds. And we're going to try to compile as best I can. It's probably going to be a multi-part series, I am sure, that deals directly with women in the drumming world and how they have impacted the music that we listen to today. Well, like I say in every episode, and I mean it right down to my core, take care of yourselves and each other. Until next time, peace.